So what have these weeks been like for you coming up into the coordinator position and doing what you're doing?
It's really been amazing, for coming in to, as a support role. And Coach Pim and I had known each other for almost 30 years, and to you hate the situation that it happened in, but it's really just a lot of gratitude, just having a chance to work at a university like this and with some young men like I've been able to work with and coaches. So it's been really amazing.
When you look at the steps you guys have taken, I mean, statistically, you've improved over the last 5 games. How do you measuring, the direction you're going, I guess?
Well, it's really about the commitment that the players have made. They made a commitment to finishing this deal because you can't change habits in 5 weeks. It was already there. And what we've tried to do is enhance the things that we do well and fix the things that we needed improvement. Just really that simple. So we try to keep it simple and less is more. And we've obviously the production has helped us, but it really is just the commitment by the players.
All right, and specifically for this week, what do you make of Texas when you scout those guys?
They're Texas. Obviously, I understand the rivalry that this place has, and I understand being from the state of Texas and being an OU alumni. We all have a feeling about the University of Texas, and so it's a great rivalry. What you do notice that they are an explosive unit. They've got skill everywhere. They're big up front, and they're really well coached. So it's a great challenge for us on defense.
Sark has such a reputation, but their yards per carry aren't maybe what they normally would be. What have you seen from the run game, and then what have you seen from Arch as well?
Well, in the run game, what they've done is that he's such a great guy in screens. That I was with a Coach Sarkeesian for 2 years at the University of Southern California, and what he does is, if he's struggling in the run game, his screen game becomes an extension of it. And now he makes you cover every blade of grass on the field with explosive players. And so he puts you in space. And what he's done is he's spread the ball around. Archie right now is their second leading rusher. And in regards to it, so he's making you play with all 11, and that's the one thing you notice. Offensively, they've had some issues here or there at times, but they're really beginning to gel. At least I thought they were up until last week, but they did play Georgia, who obviously one of the most physical teams in college football. But they are really explosive, and they can get points in bunches.
Hey, Chris, again, we appreciate you coming on. I'm sure some of the other guys have questions.
Absolutely.
Tyler, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach. Wyatt Simmons had a pretty great day against LSU. What did you make of his performance? And then do you think he can maybe get some more reps this week against Texas?
That's the plan. He took a little and turned it into a lot. He had about 16 opportunities, and the progression for him was every week his level of improvement in practice, and he would get a few more reps in the game. And he turned, the smallest amount of reps you had, I think at one point was 5 reps that he had. And a lot of it was as a special teams player. And he just kept developing and kept working. And so now he's at a point where he has a lot of trust from his teammates as well as his coaches.
And then specifically, Tom asked you about Arch Manning, what you see for him, but what do you see with his connection with their receiver, Ryan Wingo?
Well, first of all, Ryan Wingo is probably one of the most dynamic players in college football with his ability with yards after catch. But all of that being said, that's every week in the SEC. From Concepcion, week after week, you're playing really great players. I really think the matchups are going to be good and favorable, but so much of that is going to be based off of how we play up front. That dictates the productivity on at the second level. So I think our matchups are going to be good and on both sides, and it'll give us a chance to make some plays. But when you talk about Mr. Manning, he's a Manning. He is definitely a Manning. He can throw from every platform. He's got great arm talent. He's a big man, and he's an explosive man. And so we'll have our work cut out for. We'll have our challenges.
All right, I'll pass it on to someone else. Thanks, Coach.
Absolutely.
Jackson, go ahead.
Hey, Chris. Thank you for jumping on. Sorry about the noise behind me in the basketball arena.
No
Quincy
worries.
Rhodes, if I take you back to August 1, first day of camp, do you think he's exceeded expectations, lived up? I mean, what's this season been like, given what you thought of him before the season?
He is blooming at the right time. He's always had the physical attributes. When I first walked in, I was like, "Who is that guy?" And I've been fortunate to coach defensive line for a lot of years and coach some really exceptional players. And he has the ability to become one of those guys. I mean, and a guy who's a difference maker, a guy who can win one-on-ones for you. And again, it's just as he grows as a person and as a player, I mean, the sky's the limit.
Xavier Story's playing a lot of DE, kind of that outside linebacker role. Is that something that you guys approached him? Did he volunteer? Because he said he played that a lot in high school. How was that the switch or that transition?
It was a both. When you look at Sorey moving forward, probably in his career, he's probably going to be an outside linebacker moving forward, as well as a rusher. And so we were really moving towards the 3-4 area because we wanted to get our best personnel on the field. And he was one of those guys who, when we sat down and talked, he thought it would be a great opportunity for us as well as for the team. And his level of just unselfishness is amazing. So he's been able to really help himself, I believe, moving forward. And he's really helped our team in every way that you can imagine.
What did you see on the film with Van Buren's big run on that last drive? I mean, what happened to have him get that opportunity?
Well, first of all, we played really great coverage, and he had nowhere to go with the ball. And when you're rushing 4 and you got five guys blocking them and one guy's, you got to get him on the ground. And that's the one thing when you're playing match coverages like we play on certain down and distances. Always the hardest thing to do is an athletic quarterback that's in the backfield. So what we've tried to do is improve our rush plan week to week, and we'll have a better rush plan for him this week, and hopefully get him on the ground because Archie has the same capabilities.